I put up a post on my Instagram a couple of days ago about a Q&A with Vivienne, because she's lost a ton of weight over the last while. She's lost like 66 pounds. I think it's like about 30 odd kilos. Your heaviest, you were like what, 92 kilos?
92.
92 kilos.
So like 14.5 stone.
She's now at about 60 odd kilos, and yeah, so we just decided to do a little Q&A because I've had a lot of interest from a lot of ladies inquiring about how Vivienne has done it, or what she's, I suppose. Well, look, we'll go over the questions anyway, and we'll let Vivienne explain it a little bit more. So first question is, did you use a PT or a coach?
Yeah, I've actually had a couple of personal trainers, but I don't at the minute. I definitely would recommend getting a personal trainer because, of course, like when you start in the gym, like you don't have a clue about workouts or how to use machines. Because I literally used to go in and just get on the treadmill and just be like, "This is me in the gym." But like it's actually so much funner when you get a trainer and you know what you're doing. Like now, I don't have a personal trainer because I think you should have a trainer that sets you up for that point where you can go and do your own thing. But I did have trainers over the past, and it's definitely helped me learn more about the gym and how to exercise and perfect technique, good technique and stuff like that.
What got you started on your fitness journey?
I saw a really bad photo of myself, but before that I was feeling like I was getting comments kind of from family and friends and stuff being like, "Geez Viv, like you piled on a few pounds and all," and like people in my old job were saying it to me. Definitely saw a really bad photo of myself, and that kind of made me go, "Oh my god, like I need to lose the weight, like I piled on a ton." But it wasn't just the photo, it was how I felt. Like I felt so, I used to be really fit and I would do sports and stuff, but I literally felt so I had no energy and felt like really unhealthy, and it was just, I just wasn't confident. I felt so insecure, so that's what got me going.
How did Vivienne figure out what calories she should be on to lose weight?
Well, I didn't count calories for only till about maybe a year and a half ago, and up until then, when I'd lost the majority of my weight, I just was eating healthy and got training, and then I kind of got to a stage where I was kind of plateauing, and this was about 2 years into training, and I got to a stage where I was kind of plateauing. I felt like I wasn't like losing any weight or I wasn't gaining any muscle, so I just felt I was getting really frustrated in my training and stuff. So my coach at the time, she was like, "Why don't you count calories and stuff?" So I didn't really have a clue about counting calories or anything like that. Like I knew some people that did it, but I didn't know much into it or whatever. So I just kind of stuck to them, and then I started seeing really good results when I was counting calories. So I was being so precise with it, but I wasn't fitting kind of crap into it. I wasn't fitting normal stuff into it all. I was still eating really clean. Then eventually I kind of got to that bit where I was learning about flexible dieting and actually fitting in things that I liked. And then now I would count my own calories. I worked them out myself on If It Fits Your Macros, and that's the only kind of website I know that does that. But that definitely helped me, and I still now, if I need to change my calories up, I go onto that website and just adjust it to if I want to bulk or if I want to be cutting or just maintenance calories.
There's a girl says, "I know she's a nurse and does shift work including nights. I'm in the same boat. How does she deal with her diet with that type of lifestyle?" So how do you deal with your diet on nights versus on nights and shift work and stuff like that, working as a nurse?
Okay, well, I actually get this question a lot from girls on my Instagram and stuff, and it's definitely not as complicated, I think, as people think it is, because I think girls are like, "Oh, do I have to eat a different way because I'm doing shift?" It's like, just eat your calories for that day.
Yeah, calories are calories.
That night.
What would be a typical night shift for you? Like, so if, let's say you were going into a night shift, how would that look?
So I would have had my breakfast in the morning, probably. Like I would still have my breakfast every morning before I go to sleep or whatever.
Okay,
for that day.
So this is coming home from a night shift.
So I'd say I came home from a night shift. I've had breakfast. Like the minute I get in, I'd have breakfast or whatever. Then I'd go to bed and sleep for my hours or whatever. Yeah. Then I'd wake up and I'd have a meal, like a big dinner kind of thing, and then I would make a dinner for that night shift as well. And then the rest of the calories would come from like maybe protein bars or protein shakes or just fitting little things like dark chocolate or whatever.
Yeah, because when you're on the go, you obviously...
Yeah, and like especially like you need to be organised, especially if you're doing shift work, because it's so easy on shift work just to go in and go, "Ah, sure, I'll just grab something here or grab something there." Yeah. Whereas if you're prepared and you have all your meals there, then you're winning. Like,
that's one of the things you've said to me in the past, like, is that when you go in on night shifts, you know, it's normally like takeout to get pizza or Chinese, or there's always a takeout, or there's always sweets hanging about.
I know, and especially like they're the nights that I end up like eating crap, because when we don't have anything there, like, "Ah, sure, I'll just get a takeout." But when you have your food there ready to go, you're like, "Oh no, I'm actually grand, I have this and all." And then if you just stick to what you brought in and be organised, it's just about being organised, like, and just organising your meals out for that week and making sure you're getting your calories in. Especially, it's going to make you feel better. Like, I find if I'm ever not prepared and I'm just eating ad hoc, like I feel terrible like in work, and I just feel horrible on nights. Whereas if I'm actually eating good meals during the night, if not, it fuels you. And like I used to find that when I was starting off like being a nurse, like I used to just not eat at all at night because I used to feel so sick. But then I used to think, oh no, I can't eat because I feel so sick. But then I actually realised when you're eating good food, you feel so much better during your nights, and it gives you that energy to get through your nights and actually go train during nights, which I used to do now. Like I never used to do that.
Is there anything that you do to avoid like picking at foods? Like you wouldn't be actually like I wouldn't say you'd be a massive picker,
but I would definitely fit sweet things into my diet, because I know that if I wasn't eating like little sweet things, I definitely would end up binging on like loads of crap. Because I even like sweet things like just like, I don't know, like rice cakes with peanut butter and jam. Like they're things that I like, or you know, like little bits of cereal here and there. Like those little things help me from not binging and picking. But I don't really pick on things anyway.
You wouldn't be a big picker.
No,
anyway.
Like it's only when I'm getting to that time of month where, you know,
it's
your time of month and you're like, give me everything. That's the time that I'd be like, I want all the crap and I want to pick at everything. But I'm not a massive picker anyway.
What about like binging? Like have you ever had any sort of like
yeah, like I remember when I started out losing weight, I would binge I would binge very occasionally, because I was put on such a strict diet of like just eating so clean, and I wasn't counting calories then either, so I was just eating clean. I was eating very, very little, and like looking back now I'm like, oh my god, I ate nothing. But that's why I would have these days where I would just binge on crap and get takeaways and everything, and I would feel so horrible. Maybe if it fits your macros is stopping you from binging at all, because you're fitting
maybe not going too hard.
Yeah, because you're fitting things in that you like. Whereas I was literally like eating so clean and eating like low calories, and then I just binged one day because I was so hungry and I wanted all the crap. Whereas if you're literally fitting little things in throughout your days that you like,
or just don't cut your diet, don't cut your calories as much.
But even if you want to like not maybe hold your calories for that day and have a takeaway that night, like fit things in that you like that you can enjoy, and then you won't have to go binge on food. You won't have to have those problems.
Big time. Do you count macros, or how do you work out like what food you're supposed to eat for your goals?
Well, I use If It Fits Your Macros, which is a website that calculates your calories. So you put in your height and your weight, and then basically you tell them if you're an active person or whatever, or how much you're exercising, and then you kind of pick if you want to stay the same weight, or if you want to lose weight, or if you want to gain muscle or whatever. And they give you calories that you can
based on the sort of information that you give it, like.
Yeah, and you just put that. I used to put that into my fitness pal, and then I just make sure at least every day I'm hitting the protein goal that they give me, like the certain amount of grams of protein they tell me to have. Make sure I'm hitting that every day, and then the kind of carbs and fats just kind of fit in whichever they would do with my food.
Sorry, I'd love to know if she was ever anxious or embarrassed when first starting in the gym. I personally suffer with extreme gym anxiety because I'm overweight.
Yeah.
I've had a trainer in the past, but I still feel severely embarrassed against the men in the gym. I wouldn't dream of going into the weight section for fear of being judged or laughed at, so I'd love to hear your opinion on that end of things.
Yeah, definitely. I got very anxious when I started in the gym, and I actually still do now. Like say if I've gone like a few days, or I feel like I put on a bit of weight, I actually get a bit anxious going into the gym, and that's normal. Like everyone gets like that. Like that's completely normal. Like especially if you haven't done it before, if you're completely new to it. But at the end of the day, like you're there for yourself, and so is everyone else there. Like everyone starts somewhere, and like for the person beside you could be in great shape, but they could have went to the gym and been in terrible shape a couple of years ago. So you should, if that's what you want to do for yourself, definitely go, and you shouldn't feel nervous, because it's completely normal and everyone else is in the exact same boat.
Any sort of like tips that you would give her to kind of get over that little gym anxiety, or get over that little bit of
I would definitely make sure that you know what you're doing. Like have a workout in your head that you're gonna go in, or like at least don't go in with no plan, because I feel like sometimes that can be make things a bit worse.
That's actually really.
Because you feel like you're kind of walking around like, oh, like, but I just do this, so I just do this, and have your plan. But I also feel like a thing that makes me kind of anxious in the gym is when you go in and you see the gym is so full of people, and someone's on the equipment you want to use, and you're like, oh, will I ask them, can I use it? But at the end of the day, like you're paying for that membership just as much as they are, and like they're not going to mind you going and go, oh sorry, do you mind if I hop in after this? That was one thing that I found like really hard when I used to go to them, because I was like, oh, I just won't do that exercise because that person's on that thing, I'll just go do something else. But just go in with your workout and just go, I'm sticking to my plan.
Yeah, be a little bit more brave with
Yeah,
the workout. Yeah,
just be a bit more braver and just say, no, I'm going to just have it in your head that you're like, no, I'm going to get this workout done, and you're going to feel so much better for like sticking to your guns and being strong about it. And then the more you do that, the easier it's going to get.
So another question is, so how did you get through plateaus or times where you felt like you weren't progressing?
Well, I definitely first would reassess if I was doing everything correctly. Like I would say, hey, I've been so good on my calories, I've been so good on my training, why haven't I changed? And then I would look, and then if I was like, okay, no, I haven't been on track, that's obviously the reason why. But then if I feel like I've been on point, then obviously something needs to change. Maybe I need to, if it depending on what I want, if I want to lose weight, I would pull back on calories maybe, or I'd like put more cardio into my training. I would change my training up, make it more fun.
What kept you motivated when you were on your fat loss initially, sort of that initial fat loss journey? Like what kept you motivated?
I think the scales did, like when I was seeing it actually working, like I was seeing that my hard work was paying off, and I was like, oh my god, like, because I felt like before I started losing weight, I felt like my willpower was really bad. Like I never thought I could actually do something like that, and then when I saw it, I was like, oh my god, like, because I'm actually sticking to this and it's working. That's what kept me going. It kept me like, oh, I want more, maybe more hungry for it. And then also like I used to feel so unfit, and then the more I was feeling like I was feeling more fit every day, and I loved that. Like I loved that feeling of feeling like I had energy, and I felt like I was athletic, and I was doing better in my team because I was playing rugby at the time, and I felt like I was, you know, improving, and like the coach was even saying to me, so I felt like all those little things were like motivating me even more to keep going with it. Yeah. I could see like all my clothes were getting too big for me, and I was going to shops and I wasn't feeling crap in the change room every time I tried on clothes. I actually was loving that clothes were fitting me. I was fitting back in size 10s, and I just couldn't, the feeling like you just feel so proud of yourself. I feel like it was the first time in my life I actually felt like proud of myself, because I feel like I achieved it for me and I'd done it on my own. And it was like, it wasn't for anyone else, it was for me, and like that's what felt so good.
Well, you read that one out.
What would be a typical day of eating for you, and do you count all your macros?
We answered that one.
So I answered that one, but the eating. So a typical day of eating for me would be probably, I like to start the day with something that's going to kind of fill me for the day, and so I usually have a lot of porridge. And like I remember when I started eating or whatever healthy, like I used to hate porridge. I used to think it was the sickest thing ever, and I used to know it was healthy and be like, I'm just eating this because I know it's healthy. But now I love it because it actually it fills me up, and it stops me from binging on foods. Yeah. And then I find that like having rice and stuff like that also like are stuff that I would eat regularly, because that keeps me quite full. And then I'd eat a lot of turkey burgers and chicken and stuff like that. And what else do I eat? Kind of the same stuff, but I like to change it up. So yogurt as well.
I suppose you would have the same sort of like foundational food base, but then you change up different parts of it. Like
I wouldn't be able to eat the same thing every single day, but I have a lot of protein shakes and stuff because I do struggle. I know actually a lot of my friends as well that like would say to me like they really struggle to get their protein in. I don't know why you guys just find it easier. Like you're able to sit there and eat like 10 turkey burgers, whereas I could literally eat one and I'm like so full. Like, but I find like protein shakes are a really good way to get your protein in, because I feel like that would be something I really struggle with. Like my diet would hit my protein every day, so protein shakes I think are great, and they're so handy for like on the go, especially if like, you're in a rush or whatever.
The last question, or second last question I should say, is there much of a difference to your macros or your calories on your training and non-training days?
No, I keep my calories the same, because I've tried that before where I would like do higher calories on training days and lower calories whatever, and it just stressed me out. Like it just like made me like get really frustrated, and especially with my job I used to find like it would just get me in a panic. And I think if it's not easy for you, then don't do it. You should do something that's going to be easy for you and you're going to stick to it. Yeah. So that was just like, it just didn't, like my trainer kept being like, oh, try it, and I was like, no, like it's not realistic, I can't do it, it's just stressing me out. And like your diet and your training should be easy, it shouldn't be stressing you out, making your life harder. Like so making you more, so I was just like, no, I was like, it doesn't work for me. But if it works for you, then definitely do. Like it's just finding what works for you, and that just didn't work for me.
Last question was a girl starting off in the gym. So like what advice would you give to girls that want to get into the gym or who haven't started and would love to get into the gym?
Just do it. Like the first step is just doing it. Like, because I remember like I would just put it off and just literally do it, and you will literally love yourself for it. Like just going and just you'll feel so much better. Just after that one training session, you're like, oh my god, I actually did it. Like,
yeah, you're kind of like, I like a lot of the times, like I think a lot of women fear that sort of, like fear that first session, and then when they go away they feel superhuman.
Yeah, like
after,
you have this anxiety that like you're going away and everyone's gonna be looking at you now, but like literally no one cares. Like everyone's just there to do their thing, and you're there to just do your thing. Just go and get your hour done, just get out. Like,
yeah.
But I definitely think like a massive thing for me when I started training was wearing, like making sure you're in something comfy, like something that you're going to be able to train well in and not be like at yourself. And like, you know, because I remember if I was ever in something that I wasn't able to train hard in, like I'd be like pulling at myself and I feel uncomfortable. I feel like people are looking at me. So definitely wear something that's comfortable, that you can train well in.
Another thing, actually, we were actually reading up the questions beforehand, and one of the you were actually saying something about like doing stuff that you enjoy, like rather than kind of like you're kind of like, oh
yeah,
like,
yeah, because like when I first started to I don't know why I had such a good mindset about it, but when I started like was like, okay, I'm going to try lose my weight and stuff, I literally was like, okay, I'm going to do something that I like first, because then it's not going to be horrible for me. And I knew the gym was like going to be really hard and really something that I wasn't used to and I'd never done before. So I was just like, okay, I'll go swimming, and I set like goals for myself. I was like, okay, I'm going to swim at least 3 times a week and stick to that. And then I started doing that, and the more I was doing it, even the weight was already dropping off because I was eating healthy anyway. So that I was doing that and I was loving it, and then I was like, okay, now I'm ready to, you know, try get into the gym, because it makes it fun as well, because you're not doing something that you're like, oh, I'm dreading this, I hate this, whereas I actually like swimming. So if there's something that you like to do and you feel comfortable doing, do that. Like, why not do that? It doesn't have to be the gym, it doesn't have to be, like if it's running on the street, like that makes you feel comfortable, do that. Like, do whatever you like to do.
It is a really good answer, like in terms of like doing what you do, or doing what you love. Like,
yeah, because I know people that like they love running. Like, I literally couldn't think of anything worse. I hate running. Like I love girls that love running because it clears their head, and I wish that I loved that. I wish I was like that, but there's people that love that, so do that. Like, do what you love. Like, if that's what you like, go and do, because it's going to make the process so much easier for you than doing something that you're like, I hate this, like I'm just pushing myself through this. I'm
going to give you one last question, right? This is an off the cuff question. Right, if you're going to give any girls out there 3 little tips on like where to start when it comes to food, or what to do with your diet, where do you start? Like, what's the first thing that you would do? I would do
not what I did, because I did it so drastically that I did binge and stuff. I would definitely just even change like 2 or 3 things in your diet and be like, okay, I'm gonna get 1 takeaway every 2 weeks instead of a takeaway every day or whatever, you know what I mean? Like, because that's what I was doing. But like, just make it, or even 1 takeaway a week, you know, just, and have that day where like, okay, I'm gonna have that cheat meal, and be like living for that. And then and you actually feel like you've earned it. Then you're not just eating because you're like, oh, this is just my food that I eat in the reg. It's just like, it's actually, you've earned that.
Okay.
Drink loads of water. Like, drink so much water, because I never realised until I started losing weight that the majority of my hunger was probably thirst. Like, I literally drank no water. Like, I did drink water, but not enough, especially if you're training. I would definitely make sure you're fitting things in that you like.
Yeah.
Or is that kind of the same as the first one?
No, that's good.
Or
like fitting things in daily, like.
Yeah, like fitting little things in, you know, like that are going to keep you tight. Like, I used to like be obsessed with like the dark chocolate from Aldi. Like, now I hate it because I used to
ate it too much.
Yeah, but I used to fit that, and I'd be like, okay, I can't wait for that dark chocolate, and it'd be like a little bar of dark chocolate, but I had it and I was done. I was like, that's sort of my craving for that day.
Makes it something that small each day that you can fit in. Like.
Yeah, something small each, and then just be organised with your food. Be organised. Like, that is literally that should be number 1. Be organised.
Okay.
Because if you're organised, like, there's not a chance you'll fail. Like, well, there obviously is, but less likely. Like, no, it's less likely, because I remember I would literally, the days I just didn't prepare were the days I ate crap. So just be prepared with your food. If you know you're in work the next day, make your meals that night first. You're not going to get up early to make it in the morning. You're just not.
Okay.
Like,
I get it. Okay, good job.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yay.
Well done. Good job. Alright guys, thanks for watching, and if you do have any more questions, I'll put Vivienne's links to her Instagram, Facebook, blog, all that type of stuff. I'll put that in the description box below, and feel free to hit her up with any other questions that you feel we didn't kind of cover here. Feel free to hit her up or hit myself up.
Hit him up.
anywhere you want. But thank you so much for watching the video, and hopefully we'll get more of these done in the future.
I'm not curly to learn. Bye.
Thanks.